In this video, I'm going to discuss the neither nor construction and how it should be symbolized. So let's say we say neither will it be sunny nor will it be warm. How might we symbolize this? Well, we could try symbolizing either as not P or not Q, or we can try not P or Q. So these are different, those two sentences, and they're not equivalent. So we have to think about which one we want to symbolize. So I'm going to take this opportunity to talk about the scope of negations, both with conjunction and with disjunction. So suppose, let's consider these two sentences. We have not square and circle versus not square and not circle. So the second says that square is false, and also that circle is false, because it says it's a conjunction, and so it says both of its conjuncts are true, and so it says not square is true, and it also says not circle is true, and so it says square is false, and circle is false. The first just says that the conjunction of them is false. Now, there are a variety of ways. Remember, there's only one way for a conjunction to be true. Both conjuncts have to be true. There are lots of ways for a conjunction to be false. You could have the first conjunct false and the second conjunct true. You could have the second conjunct false and the first conjunct true. Or you can have both conjuncts false. So the first just says either square is false and circle is true, or circle is false while square is true, or they're both false. So the truth of the first does not require that both of them be false. If the second one is true, then the first one is true. The second one implies the first one, but not vice versa. The first one could be true. It could be, the conjunction could be false, but it could be that, let's say, square is false and circle is true, and then the second one here, not square and not circle, that would not be true. So a similar issue arises with negation and disjunction and where the negation goes. So we have not square or circle, and we have not square or not circle. So the second says that one of square and circle is false, but that leaves it open that one of them is also true. The first one says that the disjunction has to be false. Now, how can a disjunction be false? There's only one way a disjunction can be false. It's if both of the disjuncts are false. If either one is true or they're both true, then the whole thing is true. So there's only one way for a disjunction to be false. Both disjuncts are false. So if we negate the whole disjunction, then we're actually saying that both of the disjuncts are false. We're saying that both square and circle are false. But if we just negate each of the disjuncts, then we're only saying that one of them has to be false. We're not saying which one, and maybe they both are, but we're saying at least one of them has to be false. So they don't say the same thing, and the second one says more than the first one says more than the second one. The first one says the disjunction is false, and therefore both of the disjuncts are false, whereas the second one says only one of square, or at least one of square, but maybe not both. Possibly, but maybe not, is false. So if we look at neither nor, we say neither will it be sunny nor will it be warm. That means it's not the case that it is either sunny or warm, and it means it's the case that it's both, it's not sunny, and also it's not warm. So we can symbolize this in two ways. We can symbolize it as the negation of sunny or warm, or we can symbolize it as not sunny and not warm. So these two sentences are equivalent. If either is true, so is the other. If either is false, so is the other, and same for the English ones. So there are two ways we can two different ways of paraphrasing a neither nor sentence, two different sentences in the logical language that are equivalent, and they are either of them is a fine symbolization of neither nor. We'll use the first one as our standard symbolization, but if you enter either one in a neither nor problem, you'll be fine. So that's what we have to say about neither nor. Except I want to just review what we have to say about De Morgan's. Remember, De Morgan's, there are these theorems that Theorem 62, 65, and 66, and there are inference rules associated with those theorems. So if we say it's neither warm nor sunny, therefore it is not warm and it's not sunny, and vice versa. And again, if we say it's not the case that it's both sunny and warm, then either it's not sunny or it's not warm, and vice versa. So the things I was saying about the negation and disjunction and conjunction at the beginning of the video are just a different way of making these points about, it's a different, there were related points about how negations interact with disjunctions and conjunctions and how to read them. So what you want, the most important thing to remember are the two different ways to symbolize neither nor. If you have neither P nor Q, you can symbolize that either as the negation of the disjunction P or Q, or you can symbolize that as not P and not Q. And I will be using the first one, so I will be saying not P or Q. And that's what the program will be doing as well, but it will accept either answer. I'll talk more about equivalent symbolizations in a later video. For now, what you need to know is the program will accept either of those two symbolizations. So what you want to do is just pick one, memorize it, and go with that one in terms of being able to do the symbolizations reliably.